Anchor is the easiest way to make a podcast. Anchor gives you everything you need in one place for free, which you can use right from your phone or computer. Creation tools allows you to record and edit your broadcast so it sounds great. And they even distribute your broadcast for you so that it can be heard everywhere. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. So make sure you download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Can you
Okay.
hear me?
Yeah, I can just a little bit.
Okay. How about now?
Yeah.
Hello.
All right. Welcome to Future Educators Talk with Damian and Darren. I am your co-host, Darren Front.
And I'm Damian Anderson.
Today we have a special guest of this season of the second season.
Yes, we do. And we are so excited to have him on. This is our first guest of the season. He um he is a so first off, he is a spring 2019 graduate of North Carolina A and T State University. He um, plays basketball overseas, and also he absolutely loves teaching history. So, everyone, please welcome to our podcast, Mr. Luther. Please forgive me if I mispronounced your last name. Um, Mr. Luther Funches. Did I say that correctly?
Yes, you said it right.
All right. Thank you. All righty then. So, we are so excited to have you on.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad to be here. Glad to be here.
All right. So today we're going to talk about your topics today. One of your topics that you want us to discuss is support, how to support new teachers, and also, if I'm not mistaken, um, uh,
Being a black male teacher.
yeah, so
Let's just hop right into it.
Okay.
So let's talk about um first being a black male teacher. So um Darren, what I want to hear your thoughts on this.
um, kind of like what I talked about on the season one finale. You know, that 2%
Yeah.
of black males that are teachers. Uh, I feel like going back to that season finale, I feel like there should be more than that 2%. I feel like that 2% should grow to about at least 15%, at least 15% to 25%. And also in my county, there are no black male teachers that are teaching elementary. So, you know, hopefully once I get my, go to school and get my degree and stuff, hopefully I would, become, the make history
Mhm,
at an elementary school in
mhm,
my county.
mhm, mhm. Um, yeah. Um, yeah. What about you, Mr. Luther? What do you think of this?
I
Is
mean, if you really think about it, it's a difficult situation. Okay, so we can honestly say as a collective unit that education is basically a women's field.
mm-hmm,
When I was in first grade, second grade, I had women teachers. Third grade, fourth grade, I can go on and on, but I had women teachers. It wasn't until my seventh grade year when I had my first male teacher. His name was Mr. Khan. I can remember Mr. Khan like the back of my
Mm-hmm.
head. Mr. Khan was one of them brothers who he instilled in you what it meant for you to understand that your education is very valuable. Now,
mm-hmm,
granted, I played basketball, so if my grades weren't up to par, he was like a father figure to everybody. Now, I did have my dad in the home, but what I
mm-hmm,
mean when I say he was a father figure was when you screwed up, he was gonna hold you accountable for it. And
Mm-hmm.
I can remember messing up, and he had me write 350 times restraint, responsibility, and it was something else. Respect, restraint, responsibility. That's what it was. So, since you wasn't respectful, you understand, I'm going to restrain you. And
mm-hmm,
then once I restrain you, then I'm going to show you what it means to be responsible for the actions that occurred and what you did. So, which means we have a big game tonight. So, Mr. Funches, you're not going to play the first half of the game because of your actions that you chose to do in school. And right then and there, that's when I was
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, this brother deep, or this brother crazy, or I just don't understand what is he trying to teach me, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to
Mm-hmm.
what I did wrong. I mean, it was a simple, I was just talking in class. It like to me at 14, you like it's not that deep. It's really not that deep.
yeah,
So
Mm-hmm.
it's
Mm-hmm.
like what are you trying to do? What are you trying to prove with this? But I started to realize that he was the only black male at this Catholic school that I went to, and that he really wanted to see us grow. He really, and it wasn't so much about the females. He wanted to see us as young men grow. You get what I'm saying? So you put your pants
mm-hmm,
up, you wear your uniform. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
that's when I realized, okay, it is some men out here that really care about what they do, and they're not just wanting to do it for a check.
mm-hmm,
So, but then after I
Mm-hmm.
left him, guess what I went back to again? I went back to straight women.
mm-hmm,
So, like I said, that was the only male figure my seventh grade year that I can tell you that stood out to me of what it meant to be a black male educator at that time.
Mm-hmm.
mm.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
that's wow, that's pretty something right there.
Yeah. I didn't have my first male teacher until uh, seventh grade. Um, in middle school, Mr. Tabron. He used to teach seventh grade math, and he was the very first, uh, like the very first black male teacher at my former school. So I kind of relate to you because I didn't had no black male teachers until my seventh grade year.
Mm-hmm.
So I completely understand that, and I think this is part of what we're doing. This is part of why we created this podcast, so that men out here can share their stories and share their, their thoughts and opinions on this, so that we can, grow that 2%,
Right.
you know, into, that 15%, because it's really low.
Mm-hmm.
If you think about it, it's really low,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So,
But
Yeah.
to piggyback on what you said, because like that, my 7th grade year, this is when my mom did, like, then that following year, this is when my mom decided she was going to open up her own charter school. Okay. And when my mom opened up her own
mhm,
charter school, guess what we finally didn't have in that charter school? There wasn't a lot of women this time. There was more men, if that makes sense. So now
mhm,
when you go to physical science, which was Mr. Rudy Jameson. That was my 8th grade science teacher. And then when I go to world history, social studies, is Mr. Walter Simmons. And then when I go to PE, it's Coach LaTroy Strong. So now I got all these men,
mhm,
that I'm surrounded with. And I can honestly tell you this. It was one time that I tried my history teaching, and I don't mean by like physically. I mean I came to school. There's one day. Don't ask me what was wrong. I just came to school one day, had my pants sagging, and Mr. Simmons he
mhm,
would pick me up in the mornings. Now this how crazy this was. He would pick me up in the morning. He was like, Mr. Funches, can you please pull your pants up? And I guess at that time I'm just like smelling myself, because I'm like, man, I'm not pulling my pants up. Like, it's not that deep. I don't know what happened,
mhm,
but between 0 to 60, real quick, when I tell you he jacked me up, and he was like, "You're not gonna disrespect me in my class like that." He said, "Man, I care too much about you for you to disrespect me in front of your classmates, and you will not disrespect me into being one of these outside thugs that you trying to be." And then right then and there, that's like when my eyes opened up, and I was like, "Okay, this wouldn't have happened if I was, you understand what I'm saying? If I was at a school where it was just predominantly female, because by
Mm-hmm.
now they'd be calling security
mhm,
to come get you out the classroom because they don't know how to have that classroom management. Well, guess what?
mhm,
Mr. Simmons had that classroom management. Mr. Jameson had that classroom management. Coach Strong had that classroom management. And now you're in 8th grade. Your mom has her own school, and so times when you wasn't in school, you was at conferences with your mother, learning about how to be a leader, like a principal and a teacher, and that you're in the 8th grade. You're like I said, 14 years old. In the 8th grade, and you're looking at people, and they're looking at this 14-year-old young man in these conferences asking these questions like, where's this coming from? And son, could you please explain to me what it is that would make a student feel comfortable if he's not really engaging in math? What is it, some things that we can do to get this student to get on the same page and to get where he needs to be when it comes to these standardized tests? And I'm sitting here as a 14
mhm,
year old in these conferences saying, maybe you should, do where you can have different group sessions. So those who are I can say it, weak, can come to the table to gain more knowledge and to become strong with the whole class. It's not you selling us out. It's just the fact that we need that one-on-one time. Because if you're teaching it and I'm not understanding it, and you're going, then of course I'm going to be lost. But if you teach it and say, okay, class, I'm going to give you this. I take these group in the back and I'm going to get this group to where they need to be. All I need is that attention. Once you give me that attention and you show me that you really care and you're really giving me the steps of what I need to do, I guarantee you by the next class period, I have it and we're going to be ready to go. So they're looking like, wow, like, when have we ever heard a 14-year-old speak like that? That's because I was around education. That's because I was that person sitting in meetings with my mom when she was doing her faculty meetings and seeing what it is that they needed to do to get her school where it needed to be. So it introduced me to education right then and there. But if it wasn't for those men that I told you about and for my mother to put me in those situations, I tell you right now, I wouldn't be wanting to teach no history right now.
wow,
Mm.
wow.
Yeah. Wow, wow, wow. Yeah.
I mean, your thoughts on that, Damien?
Um,
Mom.
I'm just I'm just trying to like it absorb all of that in just right now. Just that's um I'm just like wow just right now. I mean, that is like really I mean pretty it like amazing to me. That's just I wish like I to me I wish like I had that um growing up because I did not experience that having a black male teacher um unfortunately but I did had um in high school a black male and also well in middle school this was a black woman teacher principal but in high school I had a black male principal.
Mm-hmm.
He was a assistant principal but he moved up to become a principal now,
Mm-hmm.
which was very good. So I look up to him every single day, which he inspires me every single day.
Mm-hmm.
So that's, I mean, that is like what I want, to like become one one day, like when I become a teacher, to like become like one of him to just because like that just like inspires me like if he can like just do that then my gosh then I could be doing that too just
Mm-hmm. I mean, you keep the mindset. You can do anything you want to. You get what I'm saying?
mm-hmm,
You all have a podcast. I never thought that I would actually be on the podcast. So like being a substitute, you know, you talk to this generation. This generation is totally different, right? But when you talk to this generation, they already sense if you're being real with them or if you're just trying to fake the funk. Okay, and talking to these students,
mm-hmm,
I realized that they like, okay, Mr. Luther, he's a different breed. Cause like I told him, no, I didn't grow up in the Hamptons or nothing like that. I'm from Jacksonville, Florida, aka Duval County. Trust me, it is rough growing up in my city. Okay, I've seen it from the good side of the town to the bad side of the town. I done went to school with kids who didn't know where they was gonna get their next meal from, and we can go on
mm-hmm,
and on about this, right? But we continue want to make an excuse about why we can't do nothing to help these children. We continue to make excuse about why this child is causing attitude and doing this and that in the classroom. And we
mm-hmm,
continue to make an excuse of why I kicked that child out. I'm not saying the child is supposed to disrespect your classroom. I never sit up here and tell you that. But at some point in life, when are we as teachers, and I don't mean everybody, but for the ones who just want to continue to kick these children out and just keep them from getting their education, when are you going to just finally realize and put your pride away and say, hey, let me pull you to the side. What's really going on with you? Because you
mm-hmm.
don't know what these children's going. You don't know what these children are going through. They could be
Exactly.
parents at an early
Mm-hmm.
age, and what I mean by parents, they could be watching their brothers sisters. It might be 15 of them in the house, and mama got to work 15 jobs, and so they have to be that parent figure to cook, to clean, to wash up, to make sure everything's good. And now they come to school sleeping in your class, but you just making it seem like it's disrespectful when that's not
Mm-hmm,
even the case. Or they might have to stay in the shelter, and you know how it is with the shelters. You got to get there at an early time just so you can get a bed. But then just imagine that. then you might not be able to get the same clothes you had because you couldn't take a bath or somebody stole your clothes. It's so much, but at the end of the day, this is what the reality is. If you're only going to be in this because you say you want to check, I'm just keeping it cutthroat with you. No, there isn't a lot of money in education. Who cares? Actually, I really personally don't care about the money side. As long as I know that my kids are not only growing when it comes to history, but they're growing within my classroom and outside my classroom, then guess what I'm doing? I'm doing my job. Because at the end of the day, that child is going to be able to remember and say, hey, man, I remember when Mr. Luther got on me, but you know what? This is what he taught me. This is what he told me that I needed to learn so I can get to where I need to be. That's why I coach basketball too. And I coach girls basketball because I did boys, but them knuckleheads would get on my nerves at times. But you know what? They still had a respect for me. But when it came to the girls, there was a lot of girls like, I don't have a father. So I'm like, you know what? Forget about winning because we'll win. But if you're looking for a father figure, for a man to teach you what it means to be respected, what it means to hold the door for you, what it means, you get what I'm saying? If that's what you're looking for, then guess what? I will be that father figure for you. Because I know if I be that father figure for you, everything else on the basketball court will take care of itself. Because you now know that this man is going to go to war with us. This man is going to take a bullet for us. I do it for my boys too when I coach them because I taught them what it meant to not sag your pants. If I could bring a young man on this podcast right now, he would tell you I was the only teacher in that school when I was subbing that could wear a 3-piece and then turn around and wear a Hollister outfit with J's, and they'd be like, yo, Mr. Luther just swagging it out. But I knew how to play the part. You get what I'm saying? I'm gonna show you what it means to dress for success. I'm gonna show you what it means to dress just casual, just chill. But at the same time, you're still being presentable, if that makes sense. I'm the only teacher at that. I'm the tatted teacher, is what they call me. I'm tatted. I played ball, so before I got my tattoos and things like that. But I was still presentable. Just like I tell my young men, I don't mind you having the twist or whatever it is you have in your head. But at the same time, you still have to be presentable because at the end of the day, they're still going to try to judge you based on how your appearance is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And a lot of friends tell me, back to what you said about the money. A lot of friends tell me, "Oh, teachers don't get paid enough." I'm like, I honestly don't care about the money.
Yeah.
This is what I tell them at every single talk. I don't care about the money. I'm here for the kids.
Exactly.
I'm here for the students. So I can just look at the paycheck like, oh, okay, all right, cool, and then go back to work the next day. Like, I honestly don't care about the money.
Yeah.
I'm just here for the kids. This is what I love to do. This is my passion. And if this is what I love to do.
Yeah.
So honestly, I don't care about the money.
Yeah. Yeah. So, all right. Moving right along into our next topic, which is how to support new teachers into the building. So, we kind of a little bit talk about that in season 1. So we want to hear what you think of this, Mr. Luther.
Support. I'm if you want to be honest, it really depends on where you're at. I mean,
Yeah.
if you really think about it, let's just be honest. If you really think about it, half of these people don't really care about if they support their new teachers or not, right? All y'all want to focus on is standardize this, standardize that, and then we need to make sure that our kids are getting it. Sir, or ma'am, look, I'm a first year teacher. I'm not saying that I'm not good at what I do, but I would at least like to know when can I email you at times? So if I'm in trouble, if I'm going through something, like what can I do to reach out to get that help? Or hey, my data is looking a little, discombobulated here a little bit. Who is my head or my team lead that can come in here and say, okay, Mr. Luther, you did X, Y, and Z, but right here we'll give you QRST. You get what I'm saying? Everybody
Mm-hmm.
want to be in it for self, or you got your clicks, your teacher clicks. Oh, okay, well we're gonna just be standoffish here, and the new teachers we just gonna let them sink and do what they do. And then you got an admin that want to put on the front. We're always here to support. My door is always open. Don't tell me your door is always open, and then when I need you, your door is closed, or I
Yeah.
can't find you, or I'm too busy. You're gonna have to skip. You're a principal, right? You said that you're the head. It's like when you're a husband, you're the head of your household. When you're a coach, you're the head of that team. When you're a math teacher, you're the head of that classroom. So if you're the principal, that means you're the head, which means if I need you, you need to get off your high horse at some point and you need to come see what's wrong. Because at the end of the day, what's the first thing a principal going to say if they don't get the grade they need for the school? Oh, it's all your fault. No, that's on you. Because at the end of
Mm-hmm.
the day, that falls on you because what? You're the head. And since you decided you didn't want to help anybody, then guess what? You get what you deserve. And now what they want to do? Now they want to move you. They're just not working out here for me. You never gave me an opportunity to work. You just want to do your thing and you expect me to learn everything from the fire that you put me into. That's not fair. So like I said, it really just depends on where you're at because you're not going to get what people normally think they're going to get.
Yeah.
Yeah, teachers should have that open door policy for new teachers.
Mm-hmm.
Just in case they need help, and like you said, they need help or they data looking little off or something. So I also feel like new teachers should have like a mentor,
Mm-hmm.
so that they can go to that mentor
Mm-hmm.
specifically if they need help or they have any questions or concerns that they may have, and that mentor can uh, can answer those questions or have their thoughts on the new teacher's concern.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Um, also, I was thinking, they should, provide them opportunities to, learn the ins and the outs of the classroom, the start of the beginning of the school year.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that would be, great, and, support them as much as possible.
Mm-hmm.
So, um, like, share some, valuable, websites, or probably give them some resource or something like that. That would
Mm-hmm.
be, helpful as well. So that could be another one. So
Even
there's, I'm going.
oh no, no, I was saying even if they did like professional development for new teachers, you understand,
Mm-hmm.
especially with the curriculum that you're wanting us to learn. Give me a PD to
Mhm.
where it's not only knowledgeable for me, but it's going to help me be successful through the whole year. Not just a PD that's just for the first couple of 9 weeks and boom, we're just gonna go back into the same thing that we know. Like, give me something fresh, especially when it comes to history.
Mhm.
Now you both all know everybody had that one history class where you just sat down and was like, are you about finished? Cause
No.
you boring me right now. You are
Mm-hmm.
really boring me. I
Mhm.
when I knew
Mhm.
when history was for me. When I was subbing and the teacher told me She was like, Mr. Luther, we're learning about the Harlem Renaissance. She was like, you can do whatever you want to do. She was like, because most of the subs that I had them bored my kids. She was like, so at this point, I don't really know what to do. She was like, and my focus right now is she was going out of town or something. She said, but the class is yours. Okay. So y'all know how I'm thinking. Well, the class is mine. I'm gonna treat it like mine. So I walked in. Good morning, class. They knew who I was because I coached at the school. They were like, good morning, coach. I was like, we're gonna do something a little different today. I went to go talk to the theater teacher. I said, you got any like roaring 20s type costumes? She was like, yeah, Coach Luther, anything you need, you can get. All right, bet. I said, this is what we're gonna do, class. I said, we're gonna act out the Harlem Renaissance. Everybody looking. They like, coach, you okay? You feeling good today? I'm like, why you say that? They was like, coach, because we normally just come in history class, man. We taking notes after notes after notes, and that's about it. I say, no. I say, not today, we not. I said, we're going to act out the Harlem Renaissance today. I said, we're going to turn the classroom into the Cotton Club. And, oh, yeah, coach, the Cotton Club. That's when they would come up because at that time, all the black people were then coming up to New York because they were able to show off their talents and gifts as far as music and poetry. You got it. So now they getting the concept. So now you got one child like, hey, coach, can I be Duke Ellington? You can be whatever you want to be. You know, just make sure they're major players in the Harlem Renaissance. Man, I tell y'all, that principal came into that classroom. He was like, you want a job? Because he could see how I was engagement is not enough engagement with our students. To me, you make history come to life, right? Let's forget about the notes. Let's make history come to life. If I was able to make the Harlem Renaissance come to life in that classroom, and now you know the buzz around campus is crazy because they like, hey, yo, when you go to Mr. Luther's class, he's subbing for the rest of the semester, man. We don't know what he got planned, but yo, when y'all go in there, what are y'all talking about? So the kids like, it was crazy, but I don't know how we managed to do this, but we did it. They were talking about Hitler. So y'all know first thing come to my mind when Hitler did what Hitler did. So now we got the Nazis and you know the camps and things like that. I made sure there was no disrespect. You get what I'm saying, to other cultures and things like that because those kids wanted to act it out. But I can honestly say my kids were like, well, Mr. Luther, ain't nobody trying to be Hitler. But we will redo what happened, but can we do it to a point can we do it on the positive side instead of a negative side? Go ahead, let's make it work. And we brought history to life.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think for us, I want to be. I think we both want to be a math teacher. So
yeah, I will.
So like you said, go ahead.
I will definitely in my classroom be engaging with my students. I'm not going to be like no offense to like all the born teachers. I'm so sorry, but I'm just like I'm gonna be like the fun teacher. Like when my students come into like my classroom, I'm just do not want them to like come in every single day. They have to come in like every single day, taking notes all freaking day. That's not gonna be me. I'm just be like fun, engaged. Like they come in, they like excited to come in. It's gonna be fun every single day. That's gonna be me. So it's gonna be fun, engaging. I'm gonna be with them. It's just interacting. That's is going to be me. I'm just no offense to all those teachers. I mean, that's cool. If that's you, then just go right here. I mean, that's not gonna be me. I'm just gonna be fun, engaging. So that's me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
hmm Yeah, I remember back when I was in middle school and high school, and we would take notes every single
Yeah.
day, every single day, except on test on
Mm-hmm.
Wednesday, and we will come in and be like, "What we're doing today," and teachers be like, "We're taking notes today." And I'm just like, "We're taking notes, but we want to do something, engaging, and we want to do something fun."
Mm-hmm.
With the lesson that you're teaching.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's important to engage with your students,
Yep.
so that don't make your lessons boring, because 9 times out of 10 your students will go to
Oh
sleep.
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
9 times out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
Trust me, I went to sleep before in class because a teacher, her lessons were boring.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
But, you have to make your students engage, instead of, you know, would you rather have your students sleeping, or would you rather have your students having fun?
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know,
So
it's like, which one,
Right. Mm-hmm.
so,
I, and also too the piggyback on when you was like when you all were like the support system. So in 2018, I got invited to the Teacher Quality and Retention Program through the Thurgood Marshall College Foundation in Houston, Texas. And man, listen, that was the best retention quality program in 2 weeks. I'm talking about everything was paid for. Your flight, hotel was banging. But you meet all these teachers from these different HBCUs, and you come together and
mhm,
you go to different sessions. And in these sessions, you're learning about uh differential instruction. You're learning about engagement. You're learning about how to deal with kids who have trauma. You're learning all these different things. And I mean, when I tell you Miss Mosika Medlock, Miss Ashley Odom, like the way they just did these things, it was amazing because they're preparing us as we go into the classroom. You already have your first year teachers who've already been in the
mhm,
classroom, and so you're getting a lot of knowledge. I went back again this year, same thing, but it was better. So now you're starting to build that relationship with. We got principals that came to this that are wanting to, and hey, can we get you here? Can we get you to move to Houston, Texas? Because how your personality, what you bring to the table, how you're engaging with your TQRP fellows, that's something we're looking for to be in our school. I'm gonna tell y'all right now, can't stand Florida.
mhm,
I really can't. Like the educational system here in Florida, it is jacked up. Literally, it's really jacked up. And you have people who's fighting for you. You know how many they've closed down majority of our black schools. My mom was a reading coach at Lake Forest Elementary, closed. They're gonna close down Northwestern Middle School. That's in the heart of the hood. They're gonna close it down, and they're gonna send those kids to Rains High School, which is a predominantly black school. They're gonna send them to Rains High School. So now you got Rains High School is gonna be from 6th through 12th, I believe. Don't quote me on that, but that's what I believe. But you're closing down the black schools, like.
mm,
And then the Lake Forest School was a fine art school. Why would you close that down? Because those kids would go to La Villa School of the Arts. And then from the Villa School of the Arts, they would go to Douglas Anderson. Like it flows, and you close it down. Close it down because they were a D school. Okay, look, let's sit down, let's regroup, let's see why. And we found out the truth why, because your third graders weren't passing the standardized test that they need. But if you looked in their portfolio, they were on key. They're just not good at tests. So get rid of the standardized test and let's see what these kids can really do within the classroom setting of what they're learning. But you want to base the test on the child's
mhm.
educational ability. That makes no sense. That makes no sense.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
They should have just get rid of standardized tests.
Mm-hmm.
They should have just get rid of it.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah. I totally agree. Absolutely agree. So the question of the day for this particular topic is, how do you encourage a new teacher in the building? That is the question of the day for this topic, is how do you encourage a new teacher in the building? So let us know by using the hashtag future educate future educate future educators talk and hashtag future educators talk S2 on Instagram and on Twitter.
Yes. We love to hear from you. So make sure you answer the question of the day on Twitter, on Instagram, also on our Facebook page as well. So don't forget to follow us on our social medias. You can follow us on Twitter at Future Edu Talk on Twitter, and on Instagram at Future Educators Talk, and on Facebook. You can like our page on Facebook at Facebook Educators Talk with Vivian and Jared. Also, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel at Future Educators Talk with Debbie and Darren. Don't forget to click that subscribe button and tap that bell for all new episodes of broadcast. We'd like to thank Mr. Luther for joining us today
Thank you. Thank you.
on this broadcast.
Yes.
Thank you. I
Um,
appreciate it.
yes. He will be joining us all of this week. So listen in all of this week. The topics for this upcoming week: on Wednesday, we are going to be talking about, do districts actually want black male teachers? So make sure to tune in on Wednesday when we talk about that. And on Friday, the topic for on Friday is how high crime neighborhoods make it harder for kids to show up at school. We're going to talk about that on Friday.
Mm, mm.
So, if you listen to this broadcast today, you may get a little Mr. Luther a little bit talked about it in this episode, but he's going to talk about it more. I think he's going to go more into depth about that on Friday. So make sure you tune in on Friday. So make sure. Um, of course, like Debbie said, he will be here all this week and next week as well. So if you missed the first episode, don't you worry, It will be uploaded on our Spotify. We're not. We're now on Spotify. So all you have to do is just search up Future Educators Talk with Debbie and or Future Educators Talk on Spotify. Click that follow button, and then there you go. You can listen to all of the episodes. We're not only we're on Spotify, but we're also on Apple Podcasts. We're also on iHeartRadio, and we're on Google Podcasts. So we're everywhere that you listen to podcasts. So
Mhm. Well,
So
all
you
right. So that is gonna be it. And I'm your co-host, Darren Brett.
and I am Damian Anderson. And this is Future Educators Talk with Damien and Darren.
So we have to do a special edition because we're doing 2 episodes today. And here's why. We're going to talk about the like if you missed the first episode,